everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. So today's tutorial is going to be a little different. I am speaking as I work. So I got a lot of feedback on my last couple of videos, and for a lot of new people to the program, my videos seem to be really fast paced, and I seem to speak and like end actions before you see them on the screen. And the reason for that is because I usually will screen record what I'm doing, and then when I go back in editing, I'll do a voiceover. But today I'm going to do it this way so that my pace is kind of slower. I tend to be a fast speaker, but I'm going to try my best. And for sure, let me know in the comments which way you prefer, if you prefer this way or if you prefer the other way. I'll do whichever one you guys prefer. And as always, don't forget to support my channel by subscribing. It means a lot to me. And not only that, but it also shows me that you guys want to see more tutorials, that my tutorials are helpful. And it's kind of like feedback as well. So I love making tutorials. So I'm going to continue to do them for as long as you guys want me to. So let's get started. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to do a Kira and like very minimal makeup and face deform. So I was asked if I could show you how to create a popular filter. I believe it's called cute baby face or something like that. It's very popular. It's all over Instagram. So, I mean, I'm sure you can find it. So I'm going to do kind of like my version of it. The makeup will be very close to it, but I'm not going to include a lot just because I don't want to replicate her work. I feel like that's kind of insulting and disrespectful. So I'm going to show you guys the basics of how to do that, and then we'll move forward, and I'll leave all of the patches and stuff in the description so you'll be able to download it. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, I start with a new project, and I'm going to do a face tracking one. Oh, okay. And I'm going to, as always, make my video preview a little bit bigger. I like to see what I'm working with, and I'm also going to make this window a little bigger. As always, I do like to rename my stuff, and if you hear background noises, it's there's like construction going on outside and I can't do anything about it, so sorry about that. But you want to right click on your face tracker and you want to click add mesh add face mesh, and I'm going to rename mine Retouch. So this is like standard procedure for all of my filters. I'm going to go over to the right side panel and click add material. My material is going to show up in my assets panel. I'm going to rename that Retouch. And as always, you go to shader type and change it to retouching. And I always deselect full screen, and I'll probably put this down to 40. I don't like the way full screen blur looks, just because I feel like it takes away from the phone's camera. I feel like the retouching is meant to, do like basic photograph retouching where it softens like the skin and does all of that. So I don't use it on anything other but the face. And I don't like it all the way up either. I feel like that then it just looks like way too fake. So, but it's up to what you like, but I'm going to leave mine at 40%. Then I'm going to go back in on my face tracker. I'm going to right click add, and we're going to add another face mesh. Usually my second layer of face mesh is going to be my deformation, which, if you guys don't know, Spark AR recently came out and said that they are allowing facial deformation filters, which creates bigger lips, smaller nose. You can change eye shapes, you can make big eyes, you can basically modify the face to your liking. I already have like 2 tutorials on deformation, so I'm actually just going to use I believe this was the one that I did in my tan LUT tutorial. But yeah, I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to use this one because I feel like it is really close to the deformation in the popular filter. So we're going to use this. And you'll see that on your assets, whatever you've named your object is going to show up here. So that's fine. And again, you go to deformation and it'll add a material for you, so you don't have to do that. Yeah. And this just being me, I like to rename it. I'm gonna name it face so that it relates to my face mesh. So now the next thing that I'm going to add is, I know for a fact that in that filter there is like a very slight kind of glowy peachy blush. So we're going to do that, except I noticed that it is all one face mesh on that one. So the blush includes the lip tint and a little bit of like an eye tint. So that's what we're going to do, but I'm going to call it blushed. Just because it's easier for me to name it blush. Again, you're going to go over to your right side, you're going to click on the plus sign, and you're going to create new material because you don't want to use the ones that you already have. And in our assets panel, I'm going to rename that material blush. I'm going to go ahead and set up my settings over here on the right side. So under shader type, I'm going to go with flat. And that's it for now, because we'll deal with the blend modes and the opacity afterwards. Usually, personal preference, I know a lot of people use face paint and for blush, or they'll use the blended modes. I prefer the flat mode and then just playing with the blend modes under the render options. Again, this is up to your own personal preference. This is what I'm going to do. So let's jump into Photoshop and I'll show you how to make a blush. So I already have my face assets thing over here. So in Photoshop, you just want to click on this little icon to add a layer, or you can go to, I believe you can go to layer, new layer, and then it'll do the same thing. I'm going to name this layer blush. And then I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to toggle down here so that my foreground color is white. I'm going to use just a general soft brown brush. And then I kind of like to, I feel like this is a good size. So probably 138. Yeah, I think that's a good size. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and change my opacity to 45. So I'm just going to paint the way I see it. I kind of noticed that it was like higher on the cheeks. I'm going to Command Z that, didn't like that. So I kind of want to create like a curve and do the same on this side. Again, I use, oh, wait, that's not gonna work. Okay, I'm going to create a new layer under here, and this is just going to be where I fill it all black so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm selecting my blush layer again, going back to the white foreground color, and then I think the blush looks fine. She didn't have a lot of blush going on. Then I'm just going to do the lips. And then I'm going to do the nose. But for the nose, I'm going to make this smaller. So probably like 70. Nope, probably like 80. And I'm kind of going up here. Yeah, that wasn't straight. You kind of want to get it as straight as possible. Oops. So let me try probably something like that, and then I'm going to go back in and fix that. So yes, that's too straight for me. So now I'm going to go to my eraser tool. Gotta make sure it's still on soft round brush, and I kind of want to, okay, my opacity needs to be at 100. I kind of want to shape it. Maybe I should do like 50. So that it fits the nose kind of snug. And we don't have any hard edges. So I kind of want the blush to fall there. And then I noticed that she has some on the eyes. So we're, okay, gotta switch back to my brush. Same settings, same, I gotta undo that. Same settings, same size. I'm just going to go like this. And then I'm looking to make sure, and this one seems to be a little bit longer. Gonna make this 78 and clean that up a little bit. Okay, that looks all right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. And I'm going to set this probably like an 8.8. This is going to cause all the edges to kind of feather out nicely and kind of blend into the skin better. So we're going to deselect the black layer and we're going to deselect our background layer so that we just have the blush on here. And we're going to go to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. And I'm going to name this blush. I think I'm going to replace the blush that I already have there, so that's fine. And we're gonna go back to Spark AR, so I'm gonna minimize that. And now make sure you have your blush material highlighted. Go to Textures, choose File, and then we are going to go and choose that blush we just created. So you can see it here. Now what you want to do is you can change the color using the diffuse color here. And I do want to go for kind of a peachy look, so let's do like 55 and let's bring this down to maybe 85. And again, we're going to help this blend out using the mode multiply, which is what I always do. And I'm going to play with the opacity. So I think maybe, like I was saying, toggle with the opacity. So I think 40 is going to look fine. I'm going to go ahead and send that off to my phone just so that I can check what it looks like. I think I need to put this up a little bit, probably to 90. And then probably this to 55. So let me send that to my phone. Yes. Okay. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted it to look like. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the nose highlight, which was kind of the main focal point of the filter. So in my last one, I also used a nose highlight, and a lot of you asked me to post the texture, but unfortunately, because I was selling that filter on my Gumroad, I couldn't post it because people had already purchased it. So I will show you how to make your own nose highlight here. So let's do nose highlight. I don't think that the filter had any highlight in any other places. I think it was just the nose, at least from what I can tell. It seems like it's just the nose. But I'm not sure. So I think there might be some on like the very high points of the cheek. But that could also just be the light itself. So I'm just going to do the nose. And again, we're going to create a new material. So create a material. And I'm going to name this nose highlight. And then I'm going to go ahead and set for this one, I'm going to set my shader type to physically based. And then I'm going to go back into Photoshop. So let's bring that back up. And I'm going to deselect my blush and I'm going to deselect that layer and I'm just going to go back to my background. So you want to click add a new layer. So go to layer, add a new layer. There's so many different ways to add a new layer. You guys can choose what you prefer. Just to make this short, I'm going to name it highlight. And then I'm going to grab the exact same brush. So, except I'm going to put my opacity at 100. Again, I'm using a soft round brush with an 80 size. At the size 80. Then I'm going to hold down at like the tip of the nose. I'm going to click and I'm going to press shift at the same time. So I have not released my click. And I'm going to pull down and this is going to create a very straight line for you. So let me show you. You see? And I'm going to erase using 30 and I'm going to make this smaller, also 70. And I really want to taper this. I want to make this smaller. I don't know why that happens. Okay. And again, I'm going to turn this on so that I can taper it better. And I think that's fine. Okay, and now what you want to do, okay, I forgot to name this layer, is you want to grab your regular brush again, and you want to use like size 40, maybe like a 32. Yeah, that's fine. And you want to go literally on the tip. And I'm going to click on there twice. So, okay, hold on. Let me undo that. I'm just going to do it once. Okay, now I'm going to get a smaller brush and I'm going to make sure that there is some space between the two. So again, just shaping it. Just like that. And I'm going to make this 22 and click again in the middle so that the middle is the brightest. Again, we're going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, except this one is going to be a little bit less because it's smaller. So let's do like I think like a 2.8 is fine. We're going to deselect all of this. And we're going to quick export as PNG. And we're going to name it highlight. Whoa. Okay. And we're going to go back to Spark. And I think it was this one. Okay. I think it was that one. Let me remove the old one. Nose highlight, delete. And then again, you're going to go to here, no compression, blush, no compression. I forgot to do this earlier. And then for your nose highlight, what you want to do is you want to go metallic 100. And we're going to do our roughness like 40. And then you want to change your blend mode to add. And then you want to go to like, let me try 15. So I'm going to send it to my phone and then we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, I feel like it looks good. I was just like playing with my lighting. I think it looks good. I'm going to leave it like that. And then now we're going to add the Kira. So I'm going to just close up my face tracker so that I have more room here. Yes, there is another airplane flying by. Okay, we're going to click Insert Canvas. I'm going to name this canvas Kira. And then we're going to right click, add, and we're going to add a rectangle. I'm going to name this rectangle 01. I'm actually going to add 4 rectangles at one time, and then I'll show you. So I'm adding 4 of these. And then I'm naming all of these like 02, 03, 04. I'm going to select one, and then I'm going to press shift and select the 4th one. So it'll select 1 through 4. I'm going to go over to my right on size, and we're going to do full width, and we're going to do fill height. And then we're going to go to them individually and add a material. Otherwise, it'll add the same material for all of them. And I'm going to name this material 01. Go to the second rectangle, 02. You get it. Material 03. And then on the 4th one, material 04. And then you're going to click on 1 through 4 in your materials panel, and we're going to change all of the shader types to flat. And then we're going to deselect all of the advanced render settings. And that is about it for that. Then we're going to have to add in our, so add asset, import from computer, and I will have this linked below. We're going to use this Kira sparkle patch, which I believe there's a bunch of different Kira patches on the internet. This was a free one that I found. And I'm sure there's like a bunch of other free ones. If you already have one and you want to use that one, that's also all right. I will have this one linked below. So let's bring this out here. And first things first, you're going to need a particle texture and you're going to need a camera texture. So first of all, let's go to our camera. Let's highlight camera. On the right, you want to click texture extraction, and then a camera texture is going to show up under your textures. I'm just removing the 0 and then capitalizing the C because I'm crazy like that. We're going to drag it into our patch editor. We're going to do the first one, RGBA, to camera texture. And then we're going to go to our 01, which is linked to your 01 rectangle. Press shift, click 04. Now we're going to go over here onto the right side, and we're going to click the little arrow next to texture. So now all of them will show up here. I'm going to organize them in order as I pull them apart and move them down. If you go over this, you'll see that there are a bunch of sizes for particles. I am personally going to start with medium particles to 01, and then this is going to come up, but we'll fix that in a minute. And then I'm going to do small particles 02, medium big particles 03, and then small medium 04, because her particles were very small. And now we have to find a sparkle texture. So you can make one on Photoshop. I'm not going to do that because it's going to be a really long process. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to find one. So I'm going to Google PixArt stickers. And you want to make sure that you're Googling stickers because it's going to be a PNG. So it's going to have transparent background that you won't have to delete the background. So now you're going to go to search stickers and you're just going to search sparkle or star or whatever you think will work for you. We're going to go make sure you click stickers up here. So this is just like a really quick and easy way to do it. You want to find one singular sparkle. So like this is one. I don't particularly like that one. I do like this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick this one. you want to right click on the image and then click save image as, and then you can just save it on your desktop. I'm going to save it as sparkle. Save it there. And we're going to go down here, add assets, import from computer. And it should be here. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to click no compression. I don't know why there are so many airplanes outside today, but I'm sorry for the noise. And then we're just going to drag the sparkle out. We're actually going to put it above camera texture. And then we're going to drag this to particle texture. And now you'll see that your Kira Kira shows up. And it looks really cute. There are some extra settings down here that you can play with. So for example, if you want more of them to show up, you can change this setting to like 5.5 and you'll notice that more are showing up. It's more sensitive to the edge. That's what that means. Your particle size, since the filter that we're trying to kind of recreate had very small particles, I'm going to change this to 1.4. And you'll notice immediately how they got smaller on the model. And then for the hue, I'm going to leave it at 1. I am going to put my saturation up to 0.8. And then I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to click them all. Actually, again, shift click all. I'm going to change it to add. I feel like this just makes it look more sparkle-ish, if that makes sense. And you can actually go in and like change the color of these from here. So we could do like a pinky. And then we could do like a purpley kind of one. And then we can do like a green one. I believe hers had a bunch of different colored ones. So, you know, if you want it all one color, that's cool. If you want to change up the colors, that's also like all on you. Whatever you want is cool. And let me make this one kind of orangey actually. Yeah. And you can see like the hue of them has changed a bit. Now, another tip that I like to do to make the sparkles look more like shiny is I like to play around with the opacity. So I'll do like 80 on one, and then I'll do like 90. For the most part, I have these pretty low, so like I can do 70, and then I can do 60, and then this just makes them more opaque to the background behind them. And I'm gonna send this off to my phone to test it. I actually, because I'm so picky, I'm going to go back to Photoshop and I'm going to reopen that sparkle layer because I knew this was going to happen. I feel like they're too long. I'm just going to push them down a bit, probably a little bit more. Okay, and now export, quick export, and I'm just replacing it on my desktop. And now I'm exiting out, minimize this window. I'm going here to my sparkle texture. I'm right clicking, replace. And then if I can find it, yep, I'm just replacing it with the same one. And I feel like this should have gotten smaller. Let me send that to my phone and double check. Yeah, and this looks really cute, and it looks kind of like the cute baby face filter. So okay, and I just wanted to mention one thing that I actually forgot to in the previous clip. So one thing that I forgot to show was one of the most important things from the filter. And basically you want to go into your face tracker and you want to click on the face mesh so that you get these settings on the side. And I'm going to show you how to input the UI slider. so that people can control the deformation if they want it off or if they want it on. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to go up to Project, Edit Properties, and you want to make sure that you have Facebook deselected. So you don't want that because it's not going to allow you to. You also want to make sure that you go to your face tracking and have your accuracy set at high. Okay, now that we've done that, you want to go into your patch editor on like a clear path, and you want to right click, and you're just going to search for the slider. And then once you clicked it, you want to make sure you have visible checked off, and then you want to go under your deformation here, and where it says mesh, you want to click on the little arrow, and that's going to bring it into your patch editor, and then you want to connect the two. And then after you do that, you can set your start value. So if you set it to 1, it's going to start at 100%. If you, for example, set it to 0.5, it's going to start halfway, and I'm going to set mine to 0.8 so that when I test it out, it won't be halfway, but it'll be a little bit more, and you can play with it. So I'm going to send this to my phone. Oh, I got to connect my cell phone. Hold on one second. Totally forgot. Okay, now I'm going to send it to my phone. And the slider should show up for me, and it does. And now I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. But just a reminder, I will have everything listed in the description. And so this is what the filter currently looks like. And if you can see, I had to show you the screen record of my phone, so you can see that the slider is going to show up on the right, and then the user will have the ability to pick how big they want the lips, or like the deform for that matter. So that's it. That's literally the basics of this filter. And again, I'll have everything in description, and I'll have this project linked on my Gumroad available for sale. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.